Hi everyone, Jennifer here, back with another edition of Movie Talk. And this week's movie is Kitterage, An American Girl. The Great Depression hits home for 9-year-old Kit Kitterage when her dad loses his business and leaves to find work. In order to keep their home, Kit and her mother must take in boarders, paying house guests who turn out to be full of fascinating stories. When her mother's lockbox containing all their money is stolen, Kit's new hobo friend Will is the prime suspect. Kit refuses to believe that Will would steal, and her efforts to sniff out the real story get her and her friends into some big trouble. Police say the robbery was an inside job committed by someone they know. So if it wasn't Will, then who did it? Okay, highlights of the movie. This movie was made back in 2008, so it is about 11 years old and is a comedy drama film. It's also a historical film as well, as it does touch on events and people, and it does touch on an event that happened in history, and it mentions people and programs that also happened in history. And by people, I mean Franklin Delano Roosevelt, or FDR, who was the President of the United States during this time period, and also many of the programs he established during the Great Depression to help the American citizens. This movie is based off of the Kit Kitterage books by Valerie Tripp, and it is set in the 1930s during the Great Depression. And for those of you who are not quite there in history class yet, the Great Depression is the time period before World War II, when the economy in America basically hit an all-time low. The stock markets crashed. I forget the exact date. I think it was near the end of the 1920s. I think it crashed end of 1929. And basically, most of America had no money. And there were people who were doing what Kit and her family were doing, taking in boarders to try and earn money to keep their homes. The dads would leave to try and find jobs in other cities. People would sell eggs and homemade preservatives and whatnot to just to make money, doing whatever they could to make money, just so they could do simple things like buy groceries, pay the mortgage, pay the bills, and whatnot. I mean, a lot of the frivolous stuff was kind of an afterthought, really, like new toys, new clothes, and whatnot. That was all kind of an afterthought. They reused everything. And if it could be reused, it was reused. It wasn't thrown out. If you had more than one kid in a family and they were younger, there were a lot of hand-me-downs going on during that time period. Particularly if the clothes were still usable or could be patched up, because you couldn't afford to buy new stuff. There were very few people who could afford to buy things during this time period. But to learn more about that, you can check on Wikipedia or your local library for more information on the Great Depression, or even your history books, really, if you're still in school. Okay, things I loved about this movie. I basically loved everything about this movie. The time frame for this movie is in the 1930s, which, granted, yes, seems a long way off now, but compared to the other two American Girl movies, Felicity, that I've done videos on, Felicity and Samantha, it's not really that far off. Well, and it does touch, much like the other two and all the other American Girl movies, it does touch on a very important time in history. And what I loved about this movie and the books is that rather than touching on a girl whose family was still doing fairly well during the Great Depression, the author, and then in turn the screenwriter, because they adapted from the book, chose to write about a girl whose family was struggling, because it showed what the majority of the families did to save money and provide for themselves during this time period. Also, this is the only American Girl movie that I know of that was actually not a TV release movie or a direct-to-DVD release movie, but this movie was actually released to theaters. So it's the only theatrical released American Girl movie that I know of. Okay, cast. This movie had an amazing cast of actors. Now, I listed Kit and her, obviously, and her family and friends, and then also the boarders and the newspaper editor, since they're the ones we see the most of in this movie. Okay, feel free to leave your comments and questions in the comment section. I do love to read those. Please like and share this video if you're watching on Facebook, or like and subscribe if you haven't already if you're watching on YouTube. And feel free to follow me on Wattpad, Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter, and DeviantArt. I do have my name for those 5 sites right there on the screen, as well as the pictures I used for the icons. Please note that all pictures seen within this video do belong to their respected artists. I own absolutely nothing. The links for the 5 sites I mentioned will be in the description section if that makes it any easier for you guys to locate my pages on those sites. And if you're watching on Facebook, the link for my YouTube channel will be in the description section. And if you're watching on YouTube, the link for my Facebook page will be in the description section. Okay, quick reminder on my comment rules. Okay, feel free to check out my related American Girl videos. My other movie talk videos. My movie talk special edition videos. And my other videos. Okay, before I sign off, a couple of things I'd like to touch on. First off, for my YouTube subscribers, any of my videos that cannot be found on YouTube are on my Facebook page. Again, the link will be in the description section. And for my Facebook friends, any of my videos that cannot be found on Facebook are on my YouTube channel. Again, the link is in the description section. If you're looking for TV talk, here is a list of all the videos shows I've either done TV talk videos on, or I'm currently doing TV talk videos on. As always, thank you for watching, and have a very nice day.